of I guess an art thing. You couldn't go inside that, right? It was just like an art exhibit kind of.
It was an art exhibit you saw through windows that you were on this moving accelerator belt, and you just went along. So you didn't even have time to answer questions. As a matter of fact, if there was
Wait a
anything
minute,
to
you
read,
mean this ride was inside the Unisphere?
No. This was inside the World's Fair. Because the
Oh,
Unisphere
okay,
came
okay.
first to show you, here you are, this is the World's Fair, here's your global unity and all this other stuff. But then they had all these mini projects inside. But some of the projects were as big as this building.
Now,
because that's,
you know the sphere is still there, right?
oh yes, and that's why they had it on TV recently.
And now the fountain is there. Was the fountain there when the World's Fair was
you know,
there?
I don't even remember the fountain, shame on
It
me.
was a beautiful, beautiful
Wow.
fountain.
And you
then
think I would like it, I'm a Pisces. Shame on me.
Okay, so now this one, I like this. Is that pencil or pen?
This is Pen and Ink, and it was called Pen
Ah.
and Ink magazine, and it was one of these things that in my year there, my first year there, the teacher said, well, I like your artwork a lot, and you're always volunteering. Why don't we put you on the cover? And there I am, tiny Joan Jacobowski. But she liked the work, and she said it looked so good, and she liked the birds going up through the air. But in the end, this was folded as a cover.
Wow. Oh, that is beautiful. I like this.
So this is what it looked like. And then you turned it over, and there was the continuation. So,
wait a minute. I think I've seen that magazine.
oh, I'm sorry. I'm wrecking your microphone
easy.
equipment.
I think
I
I've seen that
apologize.
magazine, though. Where was that available?
That was in William
Pen and
H.
Ink.
Maxwell Vocational High School. That's where I went to school.
Wow.
On, sorry about that, Pennsylvania Avenue and Liberty Avenue in Brooklyn.
Uh-huh.
When it wasn't so bad. Then it became a war zone.
And now it's actually a big development.
It's
of
getting better
Pennsylvania
now,
Avenue.
and William H. Maxwell Vocational High School no longer exists.
I was going to say that's not there.
I think that whole property, because they had a splendiferous.
Can you show us that one that's behind there? Because we're seeing two letters together, two different wordings. Put that one in front, the big one. Put that in front. Can you pull that out and put it in front of the
You know
stationery
what? You're right.
Because I'm seeing, yeah, let me see the big one first.
Okay. This was another
Ah.
project. This was something
Keep
for
New
something in
York.
school where they wanted us to get the message out for people to stop trashing on our wonderful borough.
Was
And
this
I'm sure
your
they did this in
idea?
all the 5 boroughs, but it
Was-
was Brooklyn, and they wanted us to come up with some kind of a thing about keep New York clean. So I said keep New York spotlessly clean.
Ha ha ha.
And I think this little area here threw them off because it was too much black and white, and it almost looked like a puzzle. So it didn't get picked.
But you know what? But
that was
that's
my
the-
project.
I like that. That's the good part of it. I mean, that's the part that really draws your eye.
Yeah, well, this wasn't bad here, the LY, but this
Yeah.
blending into the,
I like that it looks like a puzzle.
it just struck them wrong. Joan, you did the
Gee
wrong
whiz.
thing. Put it away, add it to your portfolio, and bring it out in the future for LP.
Well, you know, it's not really wrong because you're the artist and
and that's what I
you
saw.
get to say what's right with it.
And that's why I have
Very
those
cool.
little things coming
now
out
let's see
to
the
shine.
smaller one. You can pull that aside and let's see the
Alrighty.
smaller one.
Get over there, New York.
Oh wait, you have another one big in the
Oh,
back. Pull
yep,
the big
that's
one
right.
out, and we'll see
Joan
that.
does not-
We'll eventually get to this small one.
Joan does not know how to set up her stuff. And they asked me to put this in what they call the GO room. That was one of the rooms where they
General
sold.
organization.
Yep, they sold all kinds of stuff, including sports equipment. So
Okay, so tell me, what did you sell in the GO? Because that brings back memories.
I actually bought a lot of stuff there, a lot of supplies.
Yeah.
I didn't actually sell anything there.
Now,
But they wanted my signage, so
What-
the signage made it in the store. And
and-
Joan, get out. Thank you for the sign. Get out.
what
No,
was
I'm
the
only
name of
kidding.
that?
This
what was
is
the name?
another pen and ink. I used to
No,
work
no.
in India Ink.
The name of the school.
The school, again, was William H. Maxwell Vocational High School.
So that sounds like a really serious school. So, silly question, but I'm going to ask it just because this is the Books and Music show and we can ask any questions. Did they sell purple grape charms, lollipops in the GO room?
You know, I don't remember the candy. I really don't. I remember it being all school supplies. I think the candy, because of the vendors, came in later.
Uh-huh.
Because vendors realized they could give you 40 to 60%, and the rest of the percentage was clear to them. They had
Wow.
nothing they had to answer for, and you had to keep the records and everything. So
Wow.
it didn't come early. It's one of the things that evolved in school because they could make so much more money, and the vendors were happy too. They were making money. They weren't even there.
So did you ever work in the GO?
No, I never did.
I didn't either.
But I was a good customer.
I asked you about the lollipops for a reason, because you were bringing back memories when you said GO. I had gone from a very, very strict Catholic high school
Wow.
in the middle of sophomore year to a very, very, I don't know what the word is, comfortable, easygoing high school. As far as dressing and whatever they did. You know, we went from like you had to wear this and that, and you get to that school, and I was almost in shock because I walked into the classroom for the first time in the middle of the year. And can you imagine, like in a strict high school, you just, you know, do what they tell you, don't do anything that they haven't told you to do, et cetera, wear perfect uniforms. So I walk in the first day to, I don't know, I think it was a science class. And I go into this room, and there's like 20 or 30 kids, students, teenagers, and like 7 or 8 of them are sitting there sucking on purple lollipops.
And if that was Catholic school, it was purple lollipops with no sugar.
Yeah, no, but it's like lollipops in school? Are you kidding?
I don't know if you remember that far back. We had no sugar-free. It was either sugar or
No,
nothing.
no sugar free. Actually, you know what we did have in, I would say in the middle 50s or whatever, we had no sugar. We had sugar free, but they didn't advertise it as that. Remember, they had no cal soda, and then they had a few other things, a no cal soda, and they didn't say, you know, it was a diet soda or anything. It was just no cal.
It was a secret.
Yeah, right. So I like this sports equipment. So this was. Did you make this for the GO or not?
Yeah, I made everything. No charge.
Ah,
Never got paid, but I got good grades, so that made up for it. Good grades were
Wait,
more
they did
important than
all
money.
this in your high school?
Well, I'll tell you the
They
truth.
did archery and tennis and
I'm
fishing?
thinking back, and believe it or not, I went to George Gershwin Junior High, and I think that's where this is from. So let me just
Wow,
peek.
boating and football and hunting. Hunting?
This was 1965. I was in junior
You're
high
kidding.
school.
I
Shame
don't
on
know.
me.
Wow.
Junior high school.
I think that's
Sorry about
amazing
that.
that they had a hunting in high school.
Yeah. No, that junior high, George Gershwin, PS1, JHS 166.
And that was in Brooklyn, right?
Yep, that was in Brooklyn.
Okay, so what's the next one? We do have plenty of time. We have 11,
Hey,
like
here we
about
go.
12 more minutes. Okay, stationary.
Picture,
toys.
it's so much when you're looking at a sign, because some people are drawn by pictures. And that's why I couldn't wait to show this
Wow.
one.
Wow.
And it says toys, and there's a little teddy bear. It says art supplies, and
I
there's
like
the
little
nib
book,
with
and
the
you've
paper.
got the book on the side there.
And there's books, and
So
anyway, that was my artwork.
how do you get the words to fit on there just so precisely?
Everybody that has a brain in their head uses a ruler and a pencil, and they just erase later. There were lines under there,
Oh.
otherwise they would not be so straight. The other
Okay.
thing is a light box. You could put the lines behind the paper on the light box and never have to do any pencil lines, because oak
Oh,
tag,
really?
yeah,
Oh.
oak tag, if you erase the shiny side, it will show that you erased something.
Oh.
That's interesting.
Wait a minute. What do you mean if you erase this?
If you
shiny side?
erase on oak tag and it's on the shiny side, you will have those erasure marks show up because
Yeah.
it takes away the shine.
Yeah.
You're erasing, yes, your pencil lines. You're also erasing the sheen that's on top of that oak tag paper.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I found that out the hard way.
What
'cause
is that? This sign here. What did you do that on?
This is on plain, it's like a Bristol paper. It's
Okay.
not Bristol board. There's Bristol board and then there's
Let me see
Bristol
the one
paper.
all the way in the back, the big one.
This
pull it-
one?
No, pull the big one out. Yeah.
Which
pull
big
it.
one?
The one you have in your hand.
This one?
The one, yeah, that one. Tell me
This
about
one.
that one. Yeah.
I just fooled around with triangles. I had the triangle shape and I was just doing all kinds of angles. And I think the only
What do you?
right angle is that one right there. I think all the rest are obtuse or whatever they used to call them.
Ah.
But I used to love to fool around with geometrics.
What do you?
Shoving one angle inside of another angle. And then to make it more complicated, you can see some of the one in the background with the points. I used to
Right.
love to dabble in pointillism. And why was that, Joan? Because pointillism took hours to fill in because you were doing
Right.
it dot by dot by dot. And when my friends saw me working so slowly on these other They're in the background. You'll see them soon.
What did you do this one on?
This one was also done on that Bristol board. You can actually tell by the...
Now, before you take that away, so what do you know about triangles?
Nothing much. I forgot most of my geometry.
Do you know about triangles and building and construction?
I know they used a triangle a lot.
Why?
I have no idea.
I'm going to tell you.
You're asking the wrong person. Thank you.
I'm going to tell you only for one reason, because there used to be a show on that I absolutely loved. It was a kiddie show. I guess it was made for kids, but I always watched it. Well, I had kids, but I loved it was called Reading, was it Reading Rainbow? Do you remember a show on Channel 13? It was where they would read a book.
Reading Rainbow sounds nice. I like that.
I forget what the name it is, something to do with reading. And they would read a book. And one day they were reading this book about construction, and they told me a trivial fact that I didn't know. And they said in construction, whatever you are building, whether it's a building, a wall, or a chair, or anything at all, if you don't have the triangle, the thing will fall apart. So that's kind of interesting. It's like everything that we have has triangles, and the triangle is what makes whatever it is you're building strong.
And then there was the Bermuda Triangle.
Oh, that's bad.
I had to throw that in.
I started coughing. No, that was good. Go ahead, go. Next.
The same idea, but without so many triangles to show you the different colors running into one another.
Uh-huh.
I mean, if you really look closely, you can see.
And you did not
the
do this
yellow
in
in
math
there and the
class. You
green.
did this in art class.
I actually did these at home. I didn't have time in art class.
Oh,
I
okay.
would have spent the whole weekend locked up in the school if I had to do this one especially and get it done, because it takes hours and hours at ... I'm surprised I'm not
Wait a
blind
minute.
by
This
now.
one is done by dots?
It's done by dots. You can see the
Yeah, I
little
can
tiny
see it.
dots in there.
Yeah.
And they
I
kind
like
of blend
that.
into one another. And that's
I
what I was
like
trying to do, get the
that.
colors intermingled.
Very
so you can
nice.
see it's one big happy family of triangles.
So,
But,
when you were a kid and you went into school, what in the world made you interested in art? What attracted you to that?
Believe it or not, I saw cartoons that were drawn, and I said, those are funny. So not only do they make me laugh, but it's also considered artwork. I started copying cartoons. And my art teacher, the first time she caught me doing that, got very, very angry. I took a picture
Look at
of
the camera. Hey, Joan.
something funny. Hey.
Go ahead.
I took a cartoon of Khrushchev, and I copied that. And it showed him profile like Alfred Hitchcock. And I wanted to stress the big tummy.
Wow.
And she just thought it was so great. She says, why are you copying pictures? Make your own artwork. And I think once I started getting into the geometric thing, I think they must have been very disappointed, because I stopped drawing people. And I started getting into everything else under the sun. So with that, I think we should take these away so you could see some other real artwork. And here's one where I took a pen. And you can see where it has water stains. I did have a flood
That's really cool.
in my home, and I ruined some of my artwork. Not on purpose. Maybe somebody else would like to have done that on purpose, but not me. But you can see the strength of the cross-hatching and the wavy lines in the mountains. But anyway, it's ruined, so I don't know if you want to comment about that, but it's...
You can do cross-hatching by computer now, too.
I know. What do you need me for? I'm fired.
No, but it's always nicer to get the real thing, you know.
See, this was not computer. These were little circles cut out of construction paper and dropped right in the center of one another.
Are those done with an instrument or by your...
I actually cut it by hand on my own, so I really... this
Ooh,
is
that's
almost
good.
as bad as the pointillism.
I like that. Very like
But that's what I wanted to do at that time. You know, your mind and your feelings go through certain stages of life, and this was the stage I was in that day. I did a whole bunch of these, cut out circles, matched them up, threw them down, and you can see the second one is something like it, but it's not in the middle. It's kind of spread around.
I'm getting lots of inspiration. I have ideas for things that I want
liked
to do.
the combination of colors. You say black,
Yeah.
gray, a dull blue, orange. But when you see them and you see the difference with the black gray and then the black gray with the splashes of orange, it adds something. So I said, oh,
I'm
it's
seeing
like
a
before
snowman.
and after.
I'm seeing a snowman convention
Right?
with the little tiny heads and the little...
And just think, now you can do it with a machine. You don't have to do it by hand like
No, I
I
like,
did.
I don't know.
And then there was
Rashina's
the one to
okay.
show is not prejudice. I love all the colors that God created.
Tutti frutti.
And I just threw a whole bunch of colors together. And that was construction paper back then. Now they have so many more colors that you could play with. Because again, here we're going back about 35 or more years.
Oh, gee. You know what? We have about 4 minutes and 18 seconds left.
All right.
So we have a lot more to show. I'll
No.
stop talking. You could do the talking.
This is what I do now. Whoops.
May I print your name in calligraphy?
This is terrible.
Ah.
Anyway,
Wait, I'll move that.
I used to
So-
make up free people's names using
very nice.
calligraphy. And I would say, here's all the colors. What color? Point to the color you want your name to be in.
Uh-huh.
And they were very, very happy with that.
Wow.
And now here's the last of it, folks. Crazy oil paintings I've done in my past. That you can see is just stuff I put together from household, cans, bottles,
So you're
whatever.
watching Joan dabbling in art with Joan Maurizio.
But then, this is the one that makes a whole lot more sense.
Oh, I like that.
My sister went to Bermuda. And what did I get out of it? I got a postcard.
Very nice.
And this is my interpretation of the postcard. And it had beautiful trees. It had the sun just setting way in the background. It had the water. It had the clouds in the sky. I may have even added a cloud or two because that's interpretation. You do your own thing. So I just want to say that I had